Hey everybody, David Starr, and it's time for another episode of On Guitars with me, David Starr. As you can see, I'm in the guitar store. As you can see, I've got a great big Gibson J-200 in my lap. I was talking to my wife about guitars and how they all, over time, begin to have a story that goes with them. And this one lived most of its life before I ever got it, but it's become part of my story in that, I always wanted one, first of all. You grow up seeing guitars on TV and going to concerts and seeing a guitar and thinking somewhere in your mind, whether it's conscious or unconscious, if I had that guitar, I could be that guy or that girl, and I could play that song and I could be on that stage. That's not really how it works, as we all know, but it gets you to the point where you think, if I just had that guitar. It's true of cars, it's true of fishing poles and golf clubs and anything you aspire to. There's probably something that you deep down feel like if you had that tool in your toolbox, you could do it better and rise to the next level. When I was a kid, I would watch country music shows, Porter Wagner show. There were others, I can't even remember the name of them, but that genre was popular. And I used to see this guitar on those shows. I used to see Elvis on TV. I know later on I noticed I became aware of Emmylou Harris, and she played one of these. And it was visually striking, and that's what struck me before I ever worried about what it sounded like. Once I finally started playing guitar a little more and got to play different ones, I realized that they can be very, very good sounding guitars as well. I played some that weren't, but by and large, they're pretty good sounding guitars. This particular Gibson J-200 was made in Bozeman, Montana, where Gibson has their custom shop, and they do a lot of nice work there. Made in 1995. And I've had it 6-7 years now, I guess, something like that. And it's been a lot of places with me. When I talk about part of my story, the first time I played the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, this is the guitar that I took. And so I have a picture of me sitting in the Bluebird before the set up at the house, and I've got this guitar. And I look happy because I am. And in that picture, and not to get too nerdy about the guitar, but this is a guitar show, so flame maple back and sides, very typical of these guitars. I've seen them in other woods, special editions and that sort of thing, but as far back as the 40s, they're primarily a maple guitar with a spruce top. One of the most visually striking things is the mustache bridge, kind of that Snidely Whiplash curly Q handlebar mustache thing going on. From here on out, it's totally unnecessary to the construction of the guitar, really, because that's where the business end is, but it's cool looking, it's attractive, and I don't know, I wanted one. I had to have it. The pick guard is a bit oversized and fairly ornate with what my friend Shelley used to call dandelions, and I guess that's what they are. I don't know exactly what they call that. You got the kind of the crown inlays on the fretboard. So overall, it's a fairly ornate guitar. And all guitar makes have kind of a good, better, best when it comes to their trim package, just like a car. And so this was kind of the Cadillac of the Gibson line, much like the D45 is in the Martin line. So while it may not make the guitar play any better, to have all that stuff on there, looks better, looks like you've arrived. And indeed, it is a really nice guitar. This one's got again, for you guitar types watching at home, this one's got a Schertler magnetic pickup with their little microphone. This little microphone plugs in there and picks up some stuff that's going on here around the sound hole in the body cavity. Works really well, and I've used that some. I think I used this on a recording down at Blue Rock Studios in Texas in February. There's some other stuff on the YouTube channel. You can look around and find that. It's good sounding pickup. As usual, I don't have the guitar plugged in, using the Warm Audio WA-14 mic and a PreSonus Studio Live AR8 mixer for all this into my little Mevo Smart camera. So I'm going to play a few things. This one probably works better being picked than it does played fingerstyle. Big guitars don't respond quite as well to fingerstyle work, but I'm not one of those purists who thinks you can only do one thing on a certain guitar and another thing on another kind of guitar. Although that's a pretty good reason to just have a whole bunch of different guitars. That's not the only reason. I always wanted one of these, had to have it. This one's shown some wear. Much like the book that I used of my grandfather's to write the last record with all these songwriters I worked with, it would be nice to be able to go back and ask questions of both him and the previous owner or owners of this guitar. I don't know where it's been. Could have a really cool story. But for now, it's mine, and I hope someday one of my grandsons sits and plays it and says, yeah, my granddad played that old place called the Bluebird Cafe with this guitar. Big sounding guitar, really big sounding guitar. I like this one a lot, and I put it away for a little bit, didn't play it for a year or so, and then I got it out recently and started playing it. It's got a soul of its own, and it's a cool guitar. Thanks for joining me. Got some cool guitars coming up, old Martins, other old Gibsons, some newer stuff. And I've got an old Fender Stratocaster that's got the mother of all stories. So we'll talk about that soon. It's even got my grandmother's name attached to it. So this one doesn't have a name. If you've got an idea for a name, put it in the comments section. Love to hear what you think. I'm David Starr. This is On Guitars. And look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for stopping in.